He's back! He's back! He's back! He's back!
Dude, he's back! He's back!
He's back!
He's back! He's back!
I'm back, baby! I'm back! Back!
Hello, boys! I'm back!
Is it possible to gain 35 pounds in 6 weeks naturally? Well, Alex Hormozi claims he did it, and he wrote an in-depth article highlighting the intense diet and workout that he used to accomplish it. Look at the results here. So, you know that as a Hungarian experiment, I have to try this experiment out for myself. So, if you're a follower on the channel, you've been following along since my return here over the last few videos, I've been discussing this lightly and how we will begin this unique bulking experiment, the Hormozi experiment, for May 1st. So we are actually live streaming this right now. It is April 21st, and we are 10 days out. 10 days out from the Hormozi experiment, where we will be attempting the same diet and the same workout routine that Alex Hormozi used to gain 35 pounds in 6 weeks naturally. This is an intense diet and workout, guys. In 6 weeks, you're doing 2 workouts a day, 6 days a week, and eating 800. I thought I was going to say 600, 800 grams of carbs. It's absolutely insane. So in this video, what we're going to be doing here is we're going to go through this article and we're going to do a full breakdown of this diet and this workout routine to give you guys an understanding of what's coming and what I will be attempting on my own body for 6 weeks. My plan is that this video will be in the description of all the videos featuring this experiment, the Hormozi experiment. So that way, if someone new happens to come to the channel because of one of those videos, they can come back and watch this video to get a full breakdown of what this whole experiment is about. So if you happen to be new here, you're from the future watching this later on, thank you so much for being here. If you're in the live stream right now, thank you so much for watching. I'll be taking any questions or comments about the Hormozi experiment during this live stream. If you happen to have questions for me that have to do outside of this specific experiment, feel free to leave them in the chat or the comments down below and I'll get to them. But we're going to try to focus just on this diet and this workout and this experiment, so you guys have a great understanding of what is entailed with all this. So again, if you're new here, appreciate having you here. Please subscribe. I'd really appreciate if you subscribe if you like this way I'm experimenting on my body and taking on this challenge or this experiment. And feel free to check out some of the other videos I have here on my channel. I've done a lot of experiments over the years. So before we dive into this article and this whole workout and this diet, if you don't know who Alex Hormozi is, let's get into it a little bit. So Alex Hormozi is an entrepreneur, investor, author of 3 best-selling books. And the way he came across my journey, and on top of that, the dude is yoked. He's absolutely massive. And you can kind of see here that over time he's gone through, this is an AI, but like he's gone through phases of where, and you can watch in-depth interviews he's done, but where he's like gone on a lot of juice and a lot of steroids. But what he claims, and we'll get to this a little bit later, but he claims in an interview with More Plates, More Dates, I'm struggling to remember the guy's name right now, but that he was natural when he did this experiment where he gained 35 pounds in 6 weeks. So anyways, Alex Hormozi is an entrepreneur. He's more in the business space, and he also discusses some fitness stuff because, again, he's absolutely jacked. And the way he came across like my plate was through this thing called Gym Launch. So I'm not sure if you guys are in, fitness fans, physique fans, stuff like that. I got blasted with all his ads to do with Gym Launch. His mustache and his, like boulder shoulders, the dude's, again, like just yoked, kept coming across my feed. And I was like, all right, this dude's interesting. Like something's going on here. He's doing something right if he's managing to get across my feed. And then within just a couple years of following along his journey to see what would happen with him, he turned into a big entrepreneur. He's now got like a business where he like helps other businesses get started. I don't know his whole journey and everything, guys. Feel free to go look into him a little bit more yourself. But he's written several books. I've read a couple of them, and he has, he admits to being on steroids and on testosterone, but when he did this experiment, he wasn't. So this is just one thing I want to go into here, is that he is allegedly claiming that he didn't do any steroids before this. So we're going to watch a quick little interview here just to get that kind of out of the way, because I feel a lot of people who might see this experiment or me doing this experiment are just like, dude, that dude's on steroids, and are you on steroids, and blah, blah, blah. No, I have no interest on taking testosterone, at least right now at this point in my life. I'm 34 years old. I'm still gaining what I believe is significant noticeable muscle mass on a yearly basis, and I'm quite content with where I'm currently at. In the future, I might consider it when I reach the point in my life where I naturally, in my late 30s, early 40s, we'll see what happens. But I want to try to be as natural as long as possible. I want to try to lift as long as possible. We won't go into my whole philosophy behind bodybuilding here. Let's just get into this. So again, I want to feature this here real quick, just so we can get out of the way that the results from this experiment that Alex Hormozi did, he at least allegedly claims that he was not on any steroids for it. So we'll dive into this here real quick. You guys can't hear this interview at all? Is it just you, Kay Chavez, or is anyone else couldn't hear this? Because that sucks if it wasn't able to hear. I'm hearing it fine. And I believe the screen share says the audio's on. So yeah, if anyone else could let me know if you can hear the sound there or not. But basically, the subtitles were rolling, and I'll maybe have to do a separate video about this. But here he alleges and he claims that he was completely natural during this experiment. And I believe that this is possible. If you got all right genetics and you eat the amount of carbs that I'm going to break down in this article, and you do the work, the physical work, the amount of volume that is here, I believe it's almost impossible to not get great results. Now, I actually attempted this experiment in 2022 of November, and you guys can go take a look back on my Instagram here. But I started around here. You guys can go take a look at. I vlogged a little bit about it, basically. And what we'll get into here is you're eating like a gigantic bowl of mini wheats with like skim milk in the morning. Then you're having like a giant bowl of pasta. Then you're eating like 2 burritos, and you're still having like another meal late at night. And you're also doing 2 workouts a day, 6 days a week. So I actually attempted this. As you see here, in the first 2 weeks, I gained 7 pounds. In the first 30 days, I gained 14 pounds. When I was around, you can see here, this was like the peak of me being beefy AF with it. Like I was inflated. But I believe this workout is legit. Now, there is one thing that I want to discuss here before we hop into this. One kind of like disclaimer is that I don't believe this is for everyone. I do not believe the newbie lifter out there in the world, straight up, I don't recommend this for anybody. I don't recommend you do this. This experiment that I'm about to do is purely educational and purely for documentary purposes. I'm not recommending you or anyone who's watching this video to do this. Now, if you do it, I think you're going to get great results. And if you are someone who's questioning, you're a person who's been lifting for maybe 10 years and you're just hitting a point in your workouts where like you're still getting results, but like it's slow and you'd love to see a boost, but you don't want to take steroids and do stuff. This will push you to levels that you did not believe you had before. I hit levels on the leg press that I was like, man, I was just being a little bitch. I was just not pushing myself hard enough. I was just not pushing myself far enough. And it forces you to push yourself past your limits. And now my base of what I was doing before here is like up here now of what I think is like kind of like my minimum effective dose for my workouts and stuff. So that is just a disclaimer here. I do not believe this is for everyone. I do not suggest or recommend anyone does this. But if you do want to do this for yourself, we're going to break down the whole diet and workout. And starting May 1st, I'm going to be doing this on myself and show you guys the results. I did this, as I mentioned before here I tried to do it for the full 6 weeks. Around day 32 or 34, I got like flu-like sick. I went to an event on the weekend prior and I was filming and recording. So I was basically up the whole time. Hey, Taz, if you're here right now, can you let me know if you can hear this audio? Please let me know if you were able to hear that. But yes, welcome, Taz. Appreciate you being here. What's the experiment? We're doing the Hormozi experiment. We're actually about to jump right into the whole diet and workout that is behind it. So as I mentioned, I did this. Can't hear it. Kay Chavez says, can't hear it. Okay. I apologize about that, guys. I'll have to figure out what's going on last time because I usually do like meetings with people in rooms like this and share my screen and this works. So apologize about that. We'll get that fixed for the next time. But anyways, in that interview, again, he alleges that he was completely natural when he did this and he gained this 35 pounds in 6 weeks. So I got sick around day 32 or 34, flu-like sick. I was at an event recording for 3 days, and I was recording for like 12 to 14 hours. So they were very long days. I really taxed myself and my body while I was putting myself through this workout. But I believe by day 32, I gained 16 pounds by day 32. So I still had about 7 to 8 more days to go on it, but I wouldn't have been surprised if I made it to about 20 pounds that I gained in that 6 weeks naturally. Now, I believe it was a lot of fat that I gained, but I do believe I gained muscle. And what's fascinating about this is the amount of carbs you're eating during this workout. I believe it's amazing for recovery because what we're about to get into here is you're doing leg press every single day, 6 days a week for 7 sets of 25 reps. That's 150 reps of leg press 6 days a week. And you're also still doing 2 full leg workouts. How is your body supposed to recover from that naturally? And that's what I thought. I was like, man, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this just because I'm going to be so like fatigued, my legs. I'm just not going to be able to walk after a certain period of time. But what I found is like the recovery was like, it was crazy. I couldn't believe how fast the recovery was. So let's not waste any more time here. Let's dive into the full diet and workout here. So we're going to run through this whole article. I might cover a few things and relate it to myself, but let's just dive into it. So Alex Hormozi gained 35 pounds in 6 weeks naturally. Here's how. Here's a picture of his before and after. Gaining 35 pounds naturally takes quite a while, unless you're willing to eat 800 grams of carbs and train for 3 hours daily. Alex Hormozi decided to try it out for himself, and the results are astounding. So here, and what I think is hilarious is how he started out this article, And, this is kind of what got me going with this and what got me excited. Like Alex, I feel is very on the level of like, he knows how to get you motivated, right? And make you see things differently. What would happen if your family was kidnapped and someone told you that in order to see them again, you would have to gain as much muscle as humanly possible in 6 weeks? What would you do? You wouldn't just train for an hour 3 or 4 times a week, would you? Me neither. I mean, even with all the articles and splits and muscle mags, have you ever wondered what would happen if you trained all day as a natural athlete and did everything right? What could you accomplish if your nutrition was on point, you slept like a baby, trained like an animal, and emotionally bought into the program? Better keep reading if you want to find out. So that's what I think are some key things about this. You can't, again, a newbie lifter can't just go into this. You have to be someone who really wants this. You have to be emotionally bought into it. And I also think here, like slept like a baby, like you also, I believe, need to have your sleep dialed in because you need to be recovering so much. This isn't just about the diet or just about the workout. It's about those other factors as well, too. So gearless gains. I ran the experiment on myself and 3 other fellow personal trainees who were willing to subject their bodies to 6 weeks of brutality. Personally, I gained 35 pounds in those 6 weeks, saw fantastic hypertrophic gains, and hit lifetime personal records without practicing the lift specifically. Maybe I'm just a genetic freak. Perhaps, but that wouldn't explain how the other 3 trainees also gained 22 pounds, 26 pounds, and 16 pounds in the same time period following the exact same protocol. So, what did we do to get such gains? You better get your mind right if you're planning to follow in our footsteps. Overtraining? Never heard of it. Essentially, everything we did flies in the face of common practice. We trained the same lifts with incredibly high volume almost every day of the week, and we forced our bodies to deal with it. I'm not going to lie, the first 10 days of this program were soul-wrenching. I felt hungover most mornings, and my gastrointestinal system was taxed to its limit. More on that diet aspect shortly. But as you might have guessed, our bodies were growing before our very eyes. So again, this is another reason, big disclaimer, I do not recommend this for everybody. I don't recommend this for anybody. It's intense, and I don't believe that this is a healthy thing to do. I think I'm doing this because I think it's a great experiment, and I have, only maybe 5 to 7 more years to put on as much muscle naturally as I can before I hit a level where my body is not producing as much natural growth hormone to be able to put on muscle. So I want to do a few of these kind of short sprints where I'm able to gain a lot of muscle without taking anything. And if I have to sacrifice a little bit, I think it's okay. Like, I truly believe, doing 42 days of something like this, yes, it's not good and healthy for you, but in the long term of your life, like, is it going to shave off a month of your life or a significant part of your life? I really don't think so. I think the human body is extremely adaptable. So I think, again, if you're the type of person who is considering this, like, yes, it's not healthy. And I'm, as he said, like, he felt hungover most mornings and his gastrointestinal system was taxed to its limit. I think, like, you recover and you're fine. And now you have a whole bunch extra natural muscle. So let's get into the actual workout and the training split here. So here's how the 6-week program is set up. 3 days on, 1 day off for the entire 42-day training cycle. The estimate training session duration is 3 hours. So here, we're not going to cover this each day because it's the same thing each day. Day 1 in the morning, barbell bench press, 5 to 7 sets of 7 reps. Banded leg press, 7 sets of 25 reps. I didn't have a band last time, and I didn't do banded. So I think I'm just going to go without banded like I did last time. But as you see here, day 2 in the morning, the exact same thing. Day 3 in the morning, the exact same thing. And then I believe here, which we'll get into a little bit later, but he says how much weight you're increasing each week after you do this. So that's the morning workout. Every morning, 6 days a week, I'm waking up in the morning, and we'll get into the diet after, but I'm going to be eating a gigantic bowl of mini wheats. And then I go off to the gym, and then I do about 5 to 7 sets of bench press and 7 sets of 25 reps of leg press. Then come home, eat a bowl of pasta, maybe eat one more meal, and then I go do this day 1 p.m. workout, incline dumbbell bench, 5 sets for 8 to 12 reps, incline dumbbell flies, 5 sets for 20 reps, one arm dumbbell row for 4 sets of 15 to 20 reps, chin ups, 4 sets till failure, and then lat pull downs, 7 sets of 10 reps. And then here again, some programming notes. So this is about the leg press and the bench press. So each new 3-day cycle, barbell bench press is increased by 5 to 10 pounds on day 1, and leg press is increased by 50 pounds, so 225 plates. So if you map this out, right, every new 3-day cycle, you're increasing the weight. We have 6 weeks of doing 3 days on. If you're starting at like 400 pounds on the leg press and you're adding 50 pounds for 12, that's another 600 pounds you're putting on that thing. So you got to be considering like, hey, by the end of this workout, I got to be able to do 7 sets of 25 reps of like almost 1,000-pound leg press. So it's pretty intense. Here, we're not going to get into all this stuff. If you guys are interested, go feel free to check out the full article. It's in the description box below, but don't lock out on the leg press. Keep tension on the quads, primarily through the movement. So it's not like partial reps, but you're not trying to lock out each time. Like you're trying to keep the tension on the quads and get the max pump basically as you can. Again, feel free to read through all these. We're just going to zip through this so this video is not too long. Day 2, the workout in the afternoon is barbell back squat. So even with doing all the leg press, we're still doing squats, 3 sets of 20 reps. Leg extension sets to say vary, but you're doing about 150 minimum reps of leg extensions. And then barbell shrugs, you're doing 4 to 5 sets of 25 to 75 reps. Day 3's workout is more of like an arm workout. So every third day, so every third, and then you're doing A workout, B workout basically, but seated alternating dumbbell curls, 4 sets of 15 minutes. So you're not even going for a certain amount of reps. It's a time duration. You just set 15 minutes on the clock and you just superset between these two basically until you're dead. Dumbbell lateral raises, 5 to 6 sets of 150 reps total. Arm circles with 5-pound plate. Leg press with calf raises, seated calf raises. So again, I'm going to be taking you guys through these full workouts in upcoming vlogs when I'm going through this experiment. But again, if you guys are interested, go feel free to check it out in the description box below. But let's go into the diet because this is the craziest of them all. And this actually got me really thinking differently here because the whole goal is to really keep the fat levels low. So it's getting 800 grams of carbs a day, 300 grams of protein, and 50 grams of fat. Here he says you may need to drop the carbs to 600 depending on your size, as some of the other trainees weren't able to stomach 800 grams of carbs. Don't fear carbs, they make you grow. Also remember, you're working out for roughly 3 hours per day, 6 days per week. You need the energy. I found I got fat. Like I gained 16 pounds in 32 days. That's half a pound a day. Like that's ridiculous. Now I'm going to be going close to 800 grams of carbs. From my understanding, he said he's just under 6 foot. I'm like 5'9", closer to 5'10"-ish, but within that range between 5'9", 5'10". And so I'm a little bit shorter than him, but I'm going to try to go for 800 grams. As the whole diet continues on, we might lower things down just a little bit, but we'll see how things go. And again, I'm going to take you guys through this whole thing. But what I think is fascinating here, there's actually a study here, and it's going to take me to this study, of course, but discussing how, keeping your fat levels low is actually like something like they hacked it all out. I read deep into this 2 years ago when I did the experiment for the first time, but there's something about keeping your fat levels low and your carbs high that allows for all this extra recovery. Again, don't take that as scientific in any way. Go check out that study for yourself. But it made me think very differently about things. So here is the diet in a nutshell. I basically ate the same thing every day. Meal 1, cereal, milk, 2/3 of a box of mini wheats. It's not even saying the amount of grams or the amount of or anything like that. So I had to kind of just weigh it out and kind of guesstimate. But here, if you guys check out my, previous vlogs and videos, this bowl doesn't look big, but like this is a big bowl that I have there, and the same one that's holding all the pasta. And it is a lot of mini wheats to eat in the morning, 2/3 of a box and half a gallon of skim milk. Then I go off to the gym, do that morning workout, come back for meal 2, which is an entire box of pasta. Again, he didn't even put the grams or the amount. And then half a jar of tomato sauce with no fat added. Meal 3, he did Chipotle bowl, rice, beans, pinto beans, sour cream, flour tortilla. And then meal 4, protein shake, egg whites, whey protein, oats, and honey. So for the most part, I copied this as much as I could when I did this experiment for myself. The only real difference is I went and got like burrito bowl, not burrito bowl, a burrito, actually 2 burritos instead of doing like a Chipotle bowl. And at night, I wouldn't really do egg whites because I found because I got 2 burritos, I got more chicken in there, and that helps sub out. And again, I was just worried about attaining the same type of macros that he did, was trying to get 800 grams of carbs, the 300 grams of protein, and the 50 grams of fat. So that's what I tried to do. I weighed out all my stuff. So just continuing on here. Here, he's got some supplementing for size, creatine, citrulline malate, BCAAs, dextrose, and whey. I will be using whey and I will be using creatine, but for myself, I won't be using this other stuff. I found I didn't even need coffee when I did this experiment. It was just too much I was intaking into my body. So citrulline malate, I know, is good for kind of like pre-workout. I think a lot of pre-workout and energy drinks have citrulline malate. I think it's from like watermelon, if I recall correctly. But I'm not going to be doing all this other stuff here. So cool, but what actually happened? Before I get into the actual results from my crazy experiment, there's a few things I should note in general. So here's his notes, but here's his body weight. So he went from 202 pounds to 237. His body fat percentage here went from 15.8% to 18%, which I find a little hard to believe. Like, it was only that small of a percentage for gaining that much. Like, I'm not sure. But his bench press went up from doing 245 for 7 of 5 to 305. So gained a lot of strength. And I noticed that for myself too. Like, I gained a lot of strength during this in my legs, and my legs blew up. Like, my glutes blew up, and my quads and my hamstrings really blew up from doing this back in November of 2022. And again, here's a picture, and this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be taking a picture before, on the day of, or on the night before, and then we're going to take photos as we go through this experiment and document the progress. And he says, as you can see here, these are pretty crazy before and after pictures, ones that will be touted as steroid-induced, photoshopped, or any other mechanism that internet trolls want to suggest. But it was real, it was natty, and it was awesome. I gained back most of the weight I had lost and then some. So one of the things that I believe, too, that he didn't mention in this article, but I saw in a separate interview, was that he, as you see here, like, he isn't looking, if you guys know Alex Hormozi, he isn't looking as beefy, and he was running a lot of these gyms and stuff. So I could be wrong here with the timeline, but he also has great chest development and great body development. So it looks like he used to work out really hard, took a good 6 months or so off, and then wanted to get back into things and wanted to do it in a big way. So that could have been a big reason too why he was able to get such amazing results, because he already had the physique, he already had it, and then he kind of reduced a little bit in size because he wasn't working out, and then came back hard, did this experiment, got his strength and his muscle back to where it was, and obviously gained a lot more. Now, for myself, I've been working out hard for the last several months and going hard at this. So I'm not coming off of that, like having time off of the gym before this. So we'll see what happens there. I do believe I'm going to gain a lot of fat with this, but I do also believe that I'm going to gain noticeable muscle mass. And I'm excited to take you guys through that. I think this is possible. I think this is like a hack. Like this is a little cheat that you can do. But the thing is, you're not cheating. You're not hacking anything because you're just putting in the work and you're eating all the fucking food. Like you are double to tripling up on the amount of volume that you would probably be doing naturally through your own workouts. So to think that doing all that extra volume and eating enough food to recover from that you wouldn't get results, like how would you not be able to get results? And I noticed results for myself, but I didn't document it thoroughly enough and take the proper pictures before and after and get lean before. So I'm very excited to get as lean as I possibly can right now. I'm not getting shredded, of course, but we have another 10 days before this experiment begins. And I'm going to continue to lean down. I'm going to take before pictures and I'm going to take you guys through this wild and crazy experiment to see what happens with this. And again, if you're just popping into this live stream right now or later on, like I do not believe this is healthy. I do not recommend this for everyone or anyone, to be honest. I think it's crazy. And it's only for those who are really ready to commit to something for 42 days straight and actually put in the work. So that's it. That's the breakdown here of the crazy Hormozi experiment that I'm going to be conducting here on my YouTube channel and on my body for 6 weeks beginning May 1st. If you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the chat. We got Kay Chavez says, will you be doing some type of blood work to start and at the end? So I'm looking into things right now. I'm in Canada, so we don't really have these like in the States where you could just go and there's no private healthcare here really. And if it is, it's quite expensive, or I just don't happen to really know about it. So I have to go to my personal doctor and be like, hey, I want to get a full battery of tests done on myself. And he's like, but you're healthy. You look healthy. Why would we do that? And I'm like, well, come on. Like, and sometimes it works out. So I'm going to schedule in a doctor's appointment next week, hopefully right before this. And hopefully I can get some blood work done. And then I'll get some blood work done if I possibly can at the peak of this. And then once I'm off of it, I think I'm probably going to go 8 to 12 weeks of trying to cut down. I don't want to do a drastic cut and try to cut as fast as I can. I want to cut slowly. So I'm going to be putting all this on in 6 weeks, but it's probably going to take me double the time to cut any fat off of myself from this and see what kind of muscle I was able to put on during this very short period of time. Now, I don't really care even too much to do blood work. I'm going to see if I can do it, but like, I know what I'm doing is not healthy for me. It's not like, with intermittent fasting, like, is intermittent fasting good for your body? And is it healthy long-term? And doing an experiment to see if it is. Like, I know that if I happen to get blood work done in the middle of this, like, it's probably not going to be good because like the diet is like absolutely ridiculous. So I'll try to get blood work done and testing before. I can't guarantee it, but for the most part, it's going to be more about documenting the experience and documenting the before, during, and after photos to see, like, did I gain any noticeable muscle mass? I want to know if you guys would be able to see any noticeable muscle growth for it. Is it worth the time, effort, and energy that I spent doing this for 6 weeks, getting all fat, working my ass off 6 days a week, 2 times a workout, and no noticeable muscle results? Well, what's the point of that, right? I personally believe, as I mentioned earlier on, and I'm going to discuss this in an upcoming video, like my philosophy on natural bodybuilding, but I'm 34 years old right now. There's studies out there that show in your mid to late 30s is when your slow wave sleep as men stop releasing as much natural growth hormone in your body. So when you get into your 40s is when you got to consider, it's like, okay, I got to start considering how to maintain now as long as possible. I believe I'm still in this phase where it's like my body is in this growth phase still. It's still just pumping all this growth hormone while I sleep. Like I should be taking advantage of this as much as possible. So again, although I don't believe this is healthy, what I'm doing, this is kind of like a sprint to help gain as much natural muscle as I possibly can in a short period of time. That I also don't believe that, like, I believe other bodybuilders out there bulk for way too long or do cuts for way too long, or they're getting way too shredded or way too fat. And I think that's more unhealthy than what I'm doing here, because I believe the human body is very adaptable. It's like, what's worse for you, right? This might be the wrong kind of metaphor, but like, what's worse for you? Smoking a pack of cigarettes for 42 days or smoking half a pack of cigarettes a day? Sorry, smoking a pack of cigarettes a day for 42 days or smoking half a pack of cigarettes for 4 or 5 years every single day. Like, again, I don't know if that's a good comparison or not, or the worst comparison I could do. But yeah, that's the comparison where I'll kind of leave it to, where it's like, you know, after 42 days, the body's going to get better. It's going to heal. It's going to get better. Dwayne here says, the old Canadian back on the cannabis tour. Let's ride. Yes, sir. But yeah, that's it, guys. So the Hormozi Experiment is coming. May 1st, we begin. If you're just watching this live stream right now, go back to the beginning, check it out. We're going to be taking on this crazy experiment where I'm going to be eating 800 grams of carbs a day for 6 weeks while I do 2 workouts a day, 6 days a week. It's absolutely insane. And here are the results Alex Hormozi was able to get from it. I did this for myself in November of 2022. And although I got fat and I put on fat, I noticed serious strength and muscle gains from it. And I'm excited to take on this challenge here officially on the Hungarian Experiment YouTube channel and see what can come about with it. So I appreciate you guys watching this video. Either you're live here right now or you're watching this a little later, or again, you're in the future while I'm actually doing this Hormozi Experiment. You're coming to watch this video to understand what it's all about. Truly appreciate having you guys along this journey. None of this would be possible without you guys. So thank you guys very much. And I'm excited for this. Get ready, May 1st. I got a few more. I got 10 days to show you what my current lifestyle is like for a little bit longer. The current workouts I'm doing, the current foods that I'm eating. Then I got a couple of videos here where I'm going to be showing you my grocery haul, where I'm literally going to be buying like all the boxes of mini wheats. Here's like, here's from my first experiment that I did back in 2022. The grocery haul is just like all skim milk and all mini wheats. It's absolutely crazy. So it's going to be a fun experiment. Appreciate having you guys here. And yeah, get ready, May 1st. Thank you guys so much for watching this. We'll see you guys in the next video. I am the Hungarian Experiment.